Hi, this short video is designed for the NCOP Keeper of the Passwords and is hopefully going to show you what the role of the Keeper of the Password is within an NCOP and how they can use a Career Pilot reporting zone on the Career Pilot website. So what's happened so far, your NCOP has requested access to the Career Pilot reporting zone in order to allow the NCOP to see student data of the students that they're working within schools and colleges. So a data sharing agreement will have been signed and returned, and that allows certain people within the school, college or NCOP to be able to see the student data within the reporting zone. And the NCOP has allocated you as a person who has the role of keeper of the password, and so that's what I'm going to describe next. So the keeper of the password within the NCOP is able to see student data. The students register themselves on Career Pilot, and as part of the registration process will put themselves into a year group. You as the NCOP keeper can then set up your own subgroups with those registered students in it, and that might be the students that you're working with as part of the NCOP project. And the keeper can set up other users who work for the NCOP, and they will then be able to see the students in that school or college. And the NCOP users, these are the staff who the NCOP keeper has set up, will be able to see the student reports and also be able to add any comments to the student's report. So this is particularly useful if any NCOP staff are seeing students on a one-to-one or small group basis. The keeper needs to be responsible for the data and needs to be aware of the requirements of the data sharing agreement, and they shouldn't set anybody up who doesn't work within the NCOP. So the Career Pilot website has 4 zones: the student zone that feeds into the new reporting zone, and we also have the advisor zone and parent zone, and these are particularly useful if you are working in schools and colleges or if you are involved in parents' evenings or anything like that. So this is the home page of the Career Pilot website, and as part of that there's a section called Career Tools that the students access, and it's these parts of the career tools that feed into the reporting zone. So for instance, when students register, they can fill in the different sections within the career tools and they save the choices that they make as part of the career tools, and that forms a report that they can then save or send to another member of staff or view at a later date. So when they register, it's really important that they put in the correct information, and we ask them for their postcode, and we also ask them to self-select their school or college and put themselves into their correct year group. And this just means that when we're looking for them on the system, we can easily identify them. And so as part of the data sharing agreement, this is the data that you can see, and means that you have to be able to agree to the data sharing agreement. The students will also get a pop-up box when they register, and they tick to say that they understand that their data will be shared with the NCOP and with the central Career Pilot team. So once the students completed a section, this is the job sectors section within the career tools, this is what they can see. So this student has selected various different job sectors and has shown which ones they're more interested in. And they can also see the job profiles that they've looked at. And this is a kind of information that you as an NCOP keeper can see within the reporting zone. So as a keeper, you can switch between the student site and the admin site, and this is what the admin site looks like when you log on. And this is a part where you can start to make your own groups within Career Pilot. And so for instance, if you're working with a year 10 group, you could have a look at the students who will automatically have been put into a year 10 subgroup within the school, and you can set up your own group. And we just say as a word of warning, because school staff will be able to see these groups as well, it's important that you label your group with something like NCOP Students Year 10, just so that the school knows that this is a particular group that the NCOP staff have set up. So this is a training school that we've set up. So just as an example, to set up a new group, you simply click on New Group, and then you can filter the students by their year group and select the students that you want to belong into your NCOP group and give it an appropriate name. And so it's really quite straightforward. So this is also the area that you would set up other staff users. You don't set up student users, remember, they self-register. You can search for users though, so if you had a particular student in mind and you wanted to see their report or look at their information, you could search for a user here, but you don't add student users, you only add staff users. So the NCOP staff that you would set up would become NCOP users. They have a slightly different level of access to the NCOP keeper, as in they're not allowed to set up other staff members. And very straightforwardly, you would click on New User. You would put in their details such as name and email address and the schools that they have access to. And they can then see the school groups that have been set up, and they can also set up their own individual groups. If you wanted somebody to have the same level of access as you, as in they're able to set up new staff, you would have to contact us through the email address provided. So this is just showing you the level of detail that you would need to add to set up a new NCOP user. So the system automatically sends a password to that staff member, and following this they should be able to log on and access the information they require. So the NCOP keeper can see all the groups and all the students in reports, and they can search for individual students. So the reports section, they can look at group reports or they can look at individual reports. So for instance, this is what the group report would look like in this particular training school. And again, you could search by year group or by the subgroups that you've set up. And you can look at things like job sector choices, qualification choices, and so on, and look to see what tasks have been completed. So this is just a screenshot of a year 11 group, and these are the job sectors that that particular group have shown an interest in. So say if you wanted to plan an intervention or a visit from a particular company, this is the kind of information you could get from the reporting zone. Equally, you could look at some of the provider choices that have been made by students, so showing some of the providers that the local students are interested in. And again, you can look at reports by individual. So this person here has answered some questions on the next steps quiz, and this can inform you in terms of how likely they are to go on to HE, or some of the barriers perhaps that are preventing them from going on to a higher level course. And this is an example of a report from a year 12, and you've also got the ability to add comments. So for instance, this person has had a one-to-one interview with a careers advisor, and some of the comments that have been written down there and links to other websites could be really useful. So when you're in the reporting zone, you can switch to the student site and have a look at the functionality at the same time. And you do that simply by clicking on student site when you're in the admin site. And to get back to the admin site, you simply click on the top right of the home page, and you can click to go back onto the admin screen. Other useful parts of the website to indicate for staff are the advisor zone, and this is where you can tell staff about the worksheets that are there, the lesson plans. There are presentations there to give to parents or teaching staff or pupils, and this is also where you can access free materials or find out more about free training for teachers or webinars. There is a helpline available that's open 9 till 3 in term time, and the number's on the screen there, or alternatively you can email any questions or thoughts to us at the website at the email address careerpilot@bath.ac.uk. Okay, thank you.